This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Guardian Radio Today is brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic and Print Masters.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore?
Good afternoon, Guardian Talk Radio, 96.9 FM. You're sitting here with none other than Garth Menard Roseborough here today. Joining me also is your favorite co-host, Ricardo, Mr. Beads Forbes. He's in the house with me today. And Kyle Dean, is still out there celebrating. He's trying to make his way here, but you know, everyone's back to work. We're going to have a special program here for you today. Normally when I do speak, I try to speak within the confines of what's in my spirit. I just feel something sometime, and I got to bring it to the surface. That's what real preachers do. You see, real preachers, they feel something from within. We call it a download, and then we got to bring it out. That's what we do. We got to pronounce this thing. And so today I feel a strong pronunciation within my spirit. Okay. And of course, I had an angel that came to me and said, call Wayne Neely immediately. Watch it now. Now, when I called Wayne Neely from the Met Office, Wayne Neely answered immediately.
Amen.
And Wayne Neely also confirmed immediately. Okay. And Wayne Neely also was here at the station right before I arrived.
Look at God.
So he is a man of time, and he's a man who understands the times.
Preacher, come on.
And that's why I didn't play my regular nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Right.
Because we us something today in order that at the end of the season, you are left with nothing.
I feel the Holy Ghost. I feel it.
Oh, man, could I preach today? Could I get an offering today? And so, folks, listen, man, we're going to talk today about the weather.
Yes.
We got to talk about the impending hurricane effect. We realize that Hurricane Dorian was a disastrous event.
Oh, yeah.
Category 5.
I know people who still have PTSD from that.
Just under 1 mile an hour. And y'all have forgotten your brothers and sisters who were mentally affected from that.
Yes, boy. People still have PTSD from that. I know a few people.
Y'all have forgotten people who have witnessed this very event. Y'all have forgotten those people who saw hell open up. And it's almost as if God had forgotten.
Wow.
See, I was there, Mr. Beads and Wayne Neely, when they had Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
I worked at Hartsfield Jackson Airport. I was a gate agent on Concourse C, and the command was given, not the command, but an invitation. We need one brave gate agent to go to New Orleans tonight to evacuate people out. We only need one. And of course, crazy God from the Bahamas, I got to tell you all, I got to say yes. I got to go help people. I got to go save people, even if it may cost me my life.
Wow.
And so I went on the flight, first class, of course. I arrived there into New Orleans, and I began evacuating immediately. I was the last person on the plane before the door closed. Just like how you talk about Noah in the ark, I was the last one in the ark. And I recall on that day, the sky was blacker than my shoes. It was horrific. You could see devastation was coming.
Wow.
I could only then now imagine in Abaco, Grand Bahama, when Hurricane Dorian hit. Now, during the course of the week, I sat with one Miss Francelyn Johnson, who's doing some emergency preparedness kits. She said, Garth, I got to talk to you. You have a good show. People speak well about you. I want to show you something. And it just stayed in my spirit, Wendy, that you know what? In our country, it is better to be prepared than to wait for the after effect and be left devastated.
Okay.
The Cub Scout motto, as I remember, Cub Scout always does his best, thinks of others before himself, does a good deed every day. But the other motto we had was be prepared. That's the Cub motto, the Scout motto, be prepared. Yeah. And so today I want us to title this show, Be Prepared.
Be prepared.
You got to be prepared. I don't want you to wait. See, we blame politicians for a lot of stuff, but right now it's time for you to say to your members of parliament, you ain't got to wait. This ain't hard to do. Start bringing the sandbags now.
Yeah.
Now, the worst thing could happen if we don't use the sandbags for flooding or hurricane is we mix some cement with that. Talk to me.
Yeah.
You add on to your house.
Yeah.
That's the least could happen for you.
Like
That's a little blessing in itself. You ain't got to buy no sand.
You'd be like the old woman on you saw the old woman on social media?
They
ain't afford you think they can get dirt.
Okay. But you're going to need that dirt now. Because if you know your house in a low-lying area and all these other things, we got to talk to Wayne Neely about this, because what I want to know from Wayne Neely is this. What are the chances of this possibly happening this year?
Okay.
And I also want to know if a Category 5 ever broke the barrier.
Wow.
And hit New Providence, as me and Ms. Johnson was talking about.
Lord
you
mercy.
tell me, what will New Providence look like? You talk about immigration going
God
back
forbid.
home. We call it now? Migratory migrants going back home. What if a hurricane hit here, they ain't got to go back home. Plain that's going home to see who? Jesus. Some of y'all can go home and see God or the devil. So I want to talk to Wayne Neely about this today. The phone numbers are 354-316-3254-259. Anywhere from the family violence, 300-5720, or you text it on 422-4796. Mr. Beads. Tell the good people hello.
What's up, Bahamas? It's your boy, Mr. Beads. I'm here chilling up with the one and only God, Roseboro, and Mr. Neely. We are here today. We're going to discuss a very important topic here in the Bahamas. And we want to hear from you, man. For some of you who would have experienced the last major hurricane that we had here in the Bahamas, Dorian, call in, give us your views, and we're going to get some good advice for you guys today. So stay tuned.
Yes, man. Wayne Neely, you've been in this for a very long time. Let those people know. Tell them hello, your lovely mother, your dad, your family. You're heading to South Andrews this Friday.
Tonight.
Hurricane Wayne Neely is on his way to South Andrews. Take it by storm. Straight into the bluff. Talk to us, Wayne Neely.
I'm coming. Can't wait to get to home to South Andrews tomorrow for the Homecoming Festival.
Yes.
Every Labor Day, June, that's the holiday take most South Andrewsians back to the homesteads.
Well, you know what's going to happen when you get there, right?
Well, I'm looking for scarlet plum and mango and
scarlet plum?
dilly and
I
the
need
whole
to come over
works.
there too.
You know what you miss out on that?
What?
I was reading an article from Jamaica this week. And the land crabs in Jamaica, the blue crab and the red crab, are in jeopardy.
What?
They are being depleted so quickly that they're about to become extinct. They got to go and protect the land crabs.
Wow.
This is also happening in Puerto Rico and throughout the entire basin of the Caribbean right now. The Bahamas, we still have an abundance of land crabs. Now, what that means for me is not that we need to eat more crabs.
Right.
We need to look at the idea now of exporting live crabs to these countries to help them repopulate. This is revenue that can come into the Bahamas government, and someone has to learn now how to do what they call crab farming. This is Don Major, who was a former I think it was assistant general manager for BAIC.
Okay.
And he said, if we can learn how to do crab farming, you can now take these crabs, send them to Jamaica, send them to Puerto Rico, send them to Trinidad, Tobago, other places, and they can now reproduce and repopulate.
Yeah, they actually have a crab farm down in South Andrews now. And
they do?
A gentleman,
Okay. Oh, yeah?
He started crab farming now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So when you reach the Andrews now, I know what's going to happen. The crabs are going to say, Wayne Neely is here. Let's march towards the bluff.
Yeah, crabs. The rain. It rained last week and it rained this week.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So most people, and funny thing about the rain, just before the
man.
homecoming festival,
Yes.
it always rains.
That's what I'm telling
and
you.
Either that or during the homecoming festival, and most people carry a crab bag and the flashlights.
You
down
are the
on-
Pied
yeah.
Piper of crabs, my friend. Once you reach with that rain, they coming out.
Yes.
That's Sunday after. I used to live there. I know.
Yeah.
They can be all over the street,
All-
damn and the
yes.
mosquitoes overhead and crab beneath your feet. Crabs are coming to Nassau in droves. But the other thing that we're here to talk about is the weather.
Yeah.
The weather. Neely, tell us about your weather history.
Yeah.
How did you get into meteorology anyhow?
Well, actually, I went to the College of the Bahamas and I majored in geography and history. And I decided trying to find out what to do once I was finished with that. It was either teaching or using my geography degree as some.
Yeah, because your dad is a teacher.
Yeah, my dad was a teacher, and
Yeah.
all my aunts are teachers. So I was going to go into teaching, but it didn't turn that way. I just met a guy, Roger DeMere, who worked at the Department of Meteorology. He came to the College of the Bahamas doing a job fair, and he invited me to apply to meteorology. I did, and I was accepted, and the rest is history.
Well, listen, I see the caller on the line. Caller, let me see what you got to say, because I don't want, when you hold too long, I don't want to hang you up, but I want to what you got to talk about, caller.
Hello, how you doing? I'm Garth. How you doing? Sparky here.
Oh, my Spock, I heard you make commentary earlier on the previous show.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. You told me people forget the people that still gone missing in Dorian, who got damaged in Dorian, who got killed in Dorian.
Yes.
You told me the people who forget that.
Yes.
Some people forget where they buried their own mother and father. They can't remember which part of the graveyard is the grave. Especially if you go up the wood lawn and they got grass there. They don't have no thing where you go to walk around and put a tombstone on. You got a little cup with one rose in it.
Well, the reason why I talking about this today, Sparky, is because I want to remind some people, when you talk to people like Denley Mackey, who was there burying people at that particular time, you need to one day make an appointment to see her. The campaign is now over. I know she's still busy. People are still dying. But you probably need to go and speak with someone like that. Invite her to your church. We don't do these things some way. Invite her to your church. Invite her to your groupings.
I remember I 75, but when I was 4 years old, I remember my grandfather's funeral.
Yeah.
There was a fountains living on top of West Street Hill. I remember they laid the bodies out in the house, in the front room, and then the hearse will come if they had a hearse, and they would march from there down over West Street, down into Virginia Street, up Nassau Street to the grave.
Yeah.
You see? And I remember that at 4 years old, I can still remember where this thing is. But we had a hurricane that was supposed to hit Nassau one evening, Darrell Military. It was supposed to hit us at 9 o'clock. But I waited all night for this hurricane. Next thing I know, wake up, I didn't see no hurricane. It was gone. It was up around Freeport. But what I did, because I'm basically something like an invalid now, but I can still move around with something I call a wheelie walker. And what I did with the last threatening hurricane, I cut right to fit the window, and those things when you cut the lock on the door to put the lock in the door, that little circular thing. Hello?
Yeah, be listening.
Yeah, I cut a lot of them so I could see from the inside out. And what I did was, when I painted my house, I painted all my storm shutters to beautify the house. The house white, and the green shutters the green. And I never took them down because I said to myself, I'm down here in the back by myself. You've been by me. I down back by myself. I go pretty up the house for them. Leave the front door open, bring breeze in. And I put in the ductless air conditioning.
I saw it, Sparky.
That's how I live. So if the hurricane comes, then the roof got to go, or the trees can mash up, or I ain't going to be here. I don't want to be down in the backyard. I live right next to a pond. And I don't know what might happen down here, like Nassau Village, because hurricane come like Dorian hit if hurricane hit New Providence, the Bahamas finished, because New Providence is the capital. 21/7, if a Category 5 come up the middle of the Bahamas and grab New Providence, everybody from them out islands coming to live in New Providence for a better way of life. Where we going? Us who live in New Providence, where we going? I ain't got no property in no out island. I ain't got no family in no out island. I ain't got no house in out island. No car, nothing. I ain't got nowhere to go. Have a good day.
I appreciate you sparking. And see, this is what it's all about here, Neely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make the forecast that a hurricane is coming your way, and then sometimes it comes, and sometimes it just changes direction.
Yes.
But I recognize, that we've had major hits in Long Island.
Yes.
We've had major hits
Floyd.
in Eleuthera, major hits in Grand Bahama and Abaco.
Yes.
I don't know if Cat Island ever really got a hit before, but been hit now for over a century.
Yeah. The last major hurricane to impact Andrews was the 1929 hurricane.
That's when my great-grandfather lost three of his sons.
Was that David?
No, they didn't name it back then. It was 1929.
Oh, just
Never
not
named.
had a name.
Yeah,
They just call it the Gale of 29. Most of the older persons call it the Gale. Back then they referred
yeah,
to
my
it as Gale.
great-grandfather, James Brown, he would have lost three of his sons in that hurricane. And then the Brown clan spread. So we had Browns that went to Eleuthera, Browns that went to Cat Island, the Brown that went to Exuma, Brown that went down to Betsy Bay, Maguana. We all family.
Okay.
From one great-grandfather, you see. Yeah. My grandmother is a Brown. You see, my mother's a Taylor. Okay. And so hurricanes tend to bring that type of dispersion, that type of devastation. Neely, we've not had a hurricane since Dorian that I can recall.
No. And the funny thing, you talked just before you began your show, you talked about just the beginning of your show, that the impact of hurricanes.
Yes.
And I wrote, and I'm on my 18th book now. I've written 18 books on hurricanes. The first book I wrote To Kill Time. And from 2000 to 2004, I researched every hurricane that impacted the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. And I focused on the 1929 hurricane. And the first thing I did was I started to, those persons at the time, I started to go about interview the older persons in Andros and Nassau who experienced that storm. And my first person I went to interview was a lady I remember, she lived off Crawford Street. And I started the interview and she started to cry about 1920. And this was in 2001. And she started crying as she as I was interviewing her, and I was surprised. I said, I wonder why would she be crying for a storm? That was in 2000, and I'm talking about a storm in 1929. She said, and so I said, why are you still crying? She said, because you never forget hurricanes. You never say hurricanes have a way of impacting you. And she says, just like I can remember that storm like it was yesterday. And why I say that? Because in 2019 Hurricane Dorian, I have a web page that I update most of the weather forecasts on my personal web page. And right after Dorian passed, it was just after Dorian, and another low pressure center was coming off Africa, and I put that on my page. And rather than get thank you for your weather service report, I said, Mr. Neely, please, in Jesus' name, stop.
Yeah.
So we just had Dorian, so we need more hurricanes, so please don't update the weather no more. And this was someone from an Abaco. And so hurricanes have a way of impacting you in a significant way that you never forget them. And those persons in Abaco will always remember Hurricane Dorian. And as long as they live, they will remember that storm. Those persons in North Eleuthera will always remember Hurricane Andrew. Those persons in Abaco also remember the 1932 hurricane season. Mm-hmm. So most of the older persons talk about those storms, and because especially the 1929 storm, because a lot of persons in New Providence and Andrews died in that storm. So you tend to remember these storms for the rest of your life. So hurricanes have a way of impacting you in a significant way that affects you for years to come. And the psychological impact is even greater, which is something that most people don't measure. But that's a great impact that you have when it comes to hurricanes.
Well, when I was in school in Jamaica, if you remember 1988.
Well, it's Gilbert.
Hurricane Gilbert.
Yes.
I was there at a place called West Indies College at the time, now called Northern Caribbean University. And I recall that the government of the Bahamas at that time actually sent an aircraft, Bahamas Air, over to pick up, well, it was actually British Airways, I think it was, to pick up from UWI as well as West Indies College to come home.
Yes.
And there were some four of us that stayed behind. One was John Kerry, the former member of Parliament for Carmichael, Jeffrey Ramming, Cedric Ramming, and myself. Yeah. And, the funny thing was that we were at the airport and all of us broke. We had no money. But we had to get a taxi back to Mandeville.
Yeah.
And I recall where I got the taxi, but, nobody knows the other person broke. Come on, let's talk. Let me have a good conversation with y'all, right? So Mr. B's, all us in this one taxi, this 8-door taxi, them old 8-door cars in Jamaica, right? And everybody's sitting in the taxi quiet as a mouse, because I try to figure who can pay. But we riding, right? We going back to Mandeville because the plane was full. And we said, we're going to have to tug this out. And it was late at night. We went through a roadblock in Spanish Town, guns on us and everything. Oh, we going back to Mandeville because we couldn't make the flight. And we got to Mandeville like about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went up to the gate. And we took our bags out. Jesus, Lord, we're so wicked. And started to say, we'll be right back. We got to take our bags to the room. Lord Jesus, going in the dorm. I know y'all can say I was crooked from a long time. I know y'all even go say I corrupt, but everything cool. So when we got in the dorm, who got the money for the fella? It was boy, I ain't got no money. Nobody got no money, but I thought the government was paying for us to get back. So,
The government.
So we heard a man out by the gate cussing, you all kind of Jamaican cuss backward. We was inside, door locked. We said, we straight. We straight. But that was very unfortunate.
You only better man, God.
We had no money.
Y'all could have gone find him.
Jesus, Lord, we ain't had no money, man. Everybody broke. I say, Lord Jesus, I say, we need forgiveness. So God, please forgive me. I hope he's still living and God bless him with some money. I don't know. I know his name. I don't know how to find him. But in a hurricane, the thing was that you just panic.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You don't care about consequences. You just try to scramble to safety.
Yeah.
And when I would not ordinarily have done that, that actually occurred.
Yeah.
And
Gilbert was a bad one.
I recall, because the dormitory didn't have any screen, like glass screens, anything. It was just louvered windows.
Yes.
And you can hear the wind howling outside. We saw a big Volkswagen bus lift up like Star Trek.
What?
And it was thrown like 20 feet away.
Wow.
We saw all of the shutters that were on the building that just lifted up and just were tossed away. Cows were lost. Chickens were lost. Water was everywhere, but you didn't have any running water in the building. This was the thing. Yeah. So you didn't have any drinking water like that. Okay. In order for us to cook, because we didn't have any electricity, we took the cheese can and we put holes to the bottom of the cheese can and we placed the books on the table and allowed the air to come through the books, through the can, put a pot on top of that with a candle inside. We had a candle inside the can. Yeah. And we used the candle to cook our rice. That's all we could eat.
What?
And we did that for 3 months. We lived off of rice.
I just finished writing a book on Gilbert for the Jamaican government.
And I recall the last bag of rice. I remember that night, the last bag of rice. I looked at everybody, and everybody's stomach was full. I recall this night so well. And I said, my God, if this is the last bag of rice, I can't throw away that pot.
No.
I got to finish that. I got to be the last man to survive. So I ate rice until my stomach sat on the chair itself. I said, God knows, I got to just go ahead and gorge myself. Yeah. And that's how desperate we were. Yeah. Dr. Limit Brown was also there. I remember going to Mandeville, and we were sharing 1 cup from Kentucky because KFC at the time, they had a free refill.
Oh, okay.
So we got the 1 cup free refill, and all 6 of us was drinking from the... This make you do some strange things.
Yes.
And I don't know if Bahamian people are prepared to do strange things. We heard of stories in Abaco and Grand Bahama where people were warned to leave. Darren Henfield sat with me, Senator Darren Henfield at the time.
I interviewed him
and said, you got to leave.
Yeah.
And the people just refused to leave.
Refused to leave. And they told him, he told them, look, if you don't leave, you're going to die.
Yes.
He told them that up front. He said, look, if you don't leave, you're going to die.
And how many died? You estimate?
74. They have 74 persons. The official total is 74 with 50 recorded missing. 50 persons still accounted for as missing. And 63 in Abaco and 11 in Grand Bahama. But most of the persons I interviewed for my book on Dorian, most of them said that total is much higher than that.
Now, when hurricanes are coming, 2 things happen that I know about. Either people go to church and start praying in tongues for this hurricane to go the next way. Yeah. All of a sudden, we got to find Yahweh, Elohim, El Shaddai, the great I am, the rock of all. I ain't going to preach today. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got the other side who got to go buy some rum. Yeah. We need some aristocrat.
Yeah.
That thing will make you turn into a demon overnight. You know what I mean?
Rat back.
Get some, you know what I'm talking about, that Mark Rogers. Some of that good strong stuff. Because you're scared, but you got to drink your fears away.
Yeah.
But in terms of preparation, what people don't understand, the price of everything also goes up right before the hurricane.
Yes.
If you really say, you know what, prepare yourself. The hurricane is at a stage 3.
Yeah.
It's growing into stage 4, and it's heading our way. Almost immediate that the hardware stores and everybody start to raise their prices.
Yes. And the food store, they go in droves, and they wait until the last minute to start shopping for those things, and they wait. And
so why can't government control that, man? If we about to be in trouble,
yes,
you can let them raise the prices on us like that?
Some people take advantage of that and took advantage of people in their vulnerable time, and they just, they know that people need these items, they need these items, so let me just make put few more dollars on it to make a profit.
My God.
More than a profit, I should say.
And then we call ourselves a Christian nation.
Seriously.
You see, they saying all us in trouble and you're going to raise the price on everybody. I don't think that's fair, man.
No.
I think we need to put some type of regulation and price or price control of somebody to monitor this type of activity, Mr. Beats.
And then not only that, but the opposite also applies. When the economy is doing dead good, they don't drop the prices.
No.
Well, listen, young man, this is Garden Talk Radio today, 96.9 FM. I'm Garthman on Roseboro, having a good chat about being prepared. Yeah. The next hurricane may be near. Yeah. We're not certain yet, but I think it rained yesterday, and it flooded Bay Street.
Yes,
did you all see that?
I got caught in that.
The picture was I was trying to figure out where that was.
No, that was and I went to do an interview yesterday at ZNS, and I had to go out Monaco from there. So I went on, that was on Collins Avenue. When I got to Collins Avenue near Doctors, I saw all these cars heading back the opposite way. I said, wonder why and it was raining, and I said, wonder why they're going back this way. It don't make no sense. So I particularly went past the Tribune and went to that service road back there. And then as I started going further east, the water started rising. And then I saw a little Japanese car stuck in the water.
Stuck?
Yes. And then the water started coming in my car, my Jeep. I drive a Jeep.
In a Jeep?
Yeah. And water started coming in, so I had to pull off and go on Hawkins Hill and turn it.
The highest point?
Highest point, yeah.
Let's talk about the highest point when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. Call, I see you on the line. Just hold the line. Take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hope still lives in community. Join the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group for the Hope Walk 2026 on Saturday, June 13th at 6 a.m. at Goodman's Bay. Walk alongside survivors, patients, caregivers, and families as we come together in support. Enjoy fellowship, vendors, activities, and our inspiring Hope concert immediately following the walk. Register at gdcancersupportgroup.com.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for resident medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
we've done.
And we're back and on the board. Want to give a special shout out to him and his family and all of the Guardian executive staff, management. We're just grateful for being here to speak to you today about being prepared. And we're looking at the highest point. Wayne Neely was telling us about his experience yesterday. Just a little bit of water dropped on the island. I don't know if it's a little bit. I don't know if you measured it, Wayne, but that little bit of water caused some havoc yesterday.
Yeah,
How much water was that?
It did. I know in Miami, it did the same thing in Miami.
Oh,
In
Miami too?
Miami had a record amount, and that would be the record amount. Now, the interesting thing at the airport, it was not much because it wasn't raining. It was storming in the mid New Providence, but in the western New Providence, there was no
rain. Yeah.
When I went, I live in the west. So
That's what you all get for chopping down all our trees up there. Stop it. Let me take a call.
And Catherine, is it?
Yeah, caller, you're live. The pine trees. Go ahead, caller.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, my friend. Sorry for having you hold so long.
Yeah, thank you, man. I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Beard. That's my brethren from Oakville.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
That's your brethren?
They to get everything. But I just want to speak
What's up?
about the difference between price increase and price gouging.
Yes.
Where's the threshold limit?
Thank you.
You know, there's a threshold between being unethical and legal. There's a threshold between going to visit someone on their property and trespassing. Who decides the threshold on increasing price and price gouging? I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say.
I appreciate that call. Let me take another caller real quick. Go ahead, caller, you're live. Caller, you there? Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Right here, man.
Man, I'm trying to have an educational, informative show today. Try not to fight nobody or cuss nobody.
Yeah. Hurricane bring the human family and a sober mind to, and their God. Hurricane, man are dreadful. You see?
Yeah.
When they hear about hurricane, they get dreadful. People say they don't have no money, they run to the shop, they die, and they do whatever they want to do. Because why? They know what it is. You know, I could recall going to the monastery. My mother took us there because I don't think the house was really strong enough to bear the storm. And when that is over, it's not like when that is over. You feel a refresh. You be praying. But now when you be praying, you telling God, send the hurricane, send it where? If you say send it to someplace else, then you want some other country to be, you understand? Mm-hmm. Or send it in the sea. Then you want the fishes in there. So in other words, Mr. Neely is there, and I believe he can tell us how hurricane really happened.
You in the spirit.
Like
they were talking about that on the break, so you will hear what they have to say. But you are in the spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate your call, man. Let me take this other caller. Caller, you live. This is Guardian Talk Radio, 96.9 FM.
My good cousin, Mr. Neely. He's sitting down there with you.
Your good cousin.
I hope he brings up the topic on price control when it comes to Fancy going back home tonight.
Boy, listen to me. Somebody can get robbed in South Andrews. You didn't know that.
Anyhow,
many houses can get robbed.
When you coming back, Mr. Neely, when you coming back, just bring your only white cousin, a dozen crab back when you come. Okay?
That ain't no problem. I'll get you some crab. Yeah, that's no problem.
My God, you got to bring crab from Andrews now. Huh?
I mean, and everybody here ain't going on, so everybody ready to listen.
Well, that's what we like people to do. We like people to tote load for us. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We like people who carry burdens for us, carry load for us. You know what I'm going to say? You know what? Let me give him $50 to bring me back one little load of crab.
Oh, you're going to Miami?
So you can make $20 for yourself.
Yeah.
No. I believe she's a good place. I think she deserves some crab, but, you know, still bless you anyhow. Give you a little blessing, eh? Because you got to pay for your ticket to get there.
Yeah.
And you got to spend some money when you go down there.
One little drink there. The local economy.
One little drink there's what, $7, $8. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what time it is in South Andrews, man. But listen, on the break, we were talking about the high point here in Nassau. And then the caller made a very good point talking about the advantages of hurricanes. And then, of course, there are also the disadvantages. Yeah. Let's get back to the conversation quickly with the high point before we get to the price gouging and everything. In New Providence, if a hurricane stage 5, category 5, was to hit, let's start in Yamacraw, and curve and make its way across a stretch to Clifton Pale, before it turns to the north and touches the North Andros, Berry Islands, and then slam and turn back to Abaco and slingshot back to Grand Bahama. What type of numbers are we looking at, Mr. Neely?
It's going to be great, especially nowadays, because with climate change, what happened now is you get flooding and a lot of flooding in low-lying areas. The areas, when I came to New Providence, areas that never flooded in Nassau. Nowadays, with just an afternoon thunderstorm, like I said yesterday, I was in the west, right in the west, east of Commonwealth Bank on East Bay Street there. You couldn't pass that way, and whenever the rain, just an afternoon thunderstorm, you get up to 3 feet of water. Water yesterday was at least 3 feet yesterday in the streets. And not only that, and the service road as well, along with it. So in other words, if you're going east, you can't go east anymore because you're blocked from traveling east going towards the bridge. You can't get away because that road is, until my Jeep, I have a Honda CRE Jeep, that water started coming in that, and that's very high. So you can imagine a little Japanese car. And with that, what happens is that the water table is much higher now than normal. So it's going to take less rainfall to flood an area. Because of climate change, ice sheets are melting, the water level is much higher. So with just afternoon thunderstorm, you get flooding. Now, whenever you have flooding in New Providence, it times that by a factor, afternoon thunderstorm, you times by a factor of 4. In other words, you times that by 4 times. That's what you're going to get doing a Category 1 hurricane, the minimum of a Category 1 hurricane. So you will see the flooding that we'll have throughout the New Providence. And that, along with down poles and trees across the street, is going to be catastrophic.
So I have a question about the water table. Is it that the water table has risen, or is it that our drains and stuff are overly clogged?
No, it's not drain. I saw that they were cleaning drains yesterday and the day before. I actually saw them cleaning the drains.
Do they do like an in-depth cleaning, or is this like a surface cleaning?
And they did some road work. According to the minister at the time, he stated that they're going to fix that problem. They did fix the problem. I put "fix" in quotation marks. About last year, I saw a whole bunch of them working on drain, technician from Ministry of Works, and I saw a whole bunch of people in the doctor's hospital area. They were fixing the drains there. But apparently that didn't work. Or it didn't last long. Problems that you can't. You fixing the drain, but you're creating a problem you can't solve.
I want to fix that problem on the show, but let me take this caller. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good to hear from you, Mr. Neely. It's been a while.
Yes.
And good to hear from you again, God.
Thank you, man.
This is Scott Johnson from Wild Bahamas.
My boy, what's happening, man?
It's good, man. Everything is good. God is
still
good.
waiting on you to come hail us.
Well, one day I can come true. So very interesting conversation. So just a little bit of highlights. One, just for people who may not know, hurricanes bring about 25%. So even though they are destructive, they are also super beneficial if nobody has talked about that yet.
Yeah.
Two, with regards to them crabs, I remember I also read the article that said that crab numbers are being depleted across the West Indies.
Yes.
And then there was the little nugget about maybe we could send some of our crabs to those other islands. So now we just got to be mindful of the genetics of our land crab compared to other countries. Even though we may have similar species, Catosoma guanumai, Catosoma chicasinus rucola, the white land crab and the black land crab. Genetically speaking, they may be genetically different from us, even though they may be the same species. We have camellia, for example. Camellia trees in the Bahamas are genetically different, or maybe genetically different from camellia trees in, say, Cuba and Puerto Rico and stuff like that because of different environmental factors. So just wanted to throw that out there. And with regards to the hurricane, the hurricane conversation, I think that one of the interesting things about hurricanes as well is you also got to be mindful of the speed at which the hurricane is moving, because you could have a Cat 1 that's moving at 1 mile per hour, and then you could have a Cat 5 that's moving at 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And so those are other factors that can affect the amount of water and the amount of damage that can happen. Naturally, a big hurricane, a Cat 5 is still going to cause considerable damage. But fast-moving Cat 5 can be less detrimental, in my opinion, than a slow-moving Cat 1 or 2 that's only moving by 1 or 2 miles per hour over New Providence. And either way you put it, a slow-moving Cat 5 over New Providence is going to destroy basically this whole island.
Scott Johnson.
If it decides on New Providence or 24 hours like it did with Dorian.
Scott
So
Johnson.
that's my contribution.
Scott,
Good to hear from you guys.
don't go, Scott. Give us your information. Tell them who you are. Give you your title. Give you your number out because we got these cane. What do you call them? The cane frogs.
Cane toads.
Cane toads.
Cane toad.
You got some people who got some snakes in the house. You got some other visitors in your house. Scott Johnson is the man. Give them your little commercial break, my brother. I got that for you.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
So for everybody, my name is Scott Johnson. I'm a wildlife biologist and the founder and CEO of Wild Bahamas Group of Companies Limited. And I can assist you with a wide variety of terrestrial environmental things in the country. That includes animal capture and relocation. If you got snakes in your house, if you got snakes in your roof, if you got snakes in your area and you want them removed, you can give me a call. If you got cane toads in your yard, especially out west, you could give me a contact. You call me if you need some botanical surveys done for your permit to harvest protected trees, which is an important document, and it's supposed to be for anybody who's going to be developing on the islands in the country. You need to have a permit before you can permit to harvest protected trees before you could do any land clearing. That's the law. And I also do research work and a host of other things. So you can give me a call at 432-9172, or you could visit my website at www.wild-bahamas.com.
Hey, Scott, before you go, you get anything for snakes on your job?
What do you mean?
Oh, no, okay.
You don't with people. You just remove people.
Yo, man, that's a different story. That's a different time, different place.
Yeah,
Right.
he was talking about benefits.
Thank
of
you so much,
hurricanes,
Scott. Yeah.
He's talking about the benefits of hurricanes.
Now, before we get there, I want to go back to this idea of the high point before we
Yes.
even get to the benefits of the hurricane, because you were talking about Hawkins Hill.
Yes.
And I was talking about how the little droplets of water
Yeah.
has caused this mass flooding. Now, you people, you live in Pinewood Gardens. I always tease, they call it Pine Lakes, right? As a child, I never witnessed that much flooding when hurricanes came through. There was minimal flooding, but of course it wasn't that much. I recognize that between South Beach, if you go on top of the hill, East Street South by Calvary Deliverance Church, and you look towards downtown, you realize that there's a bowl in the middle of the island.
Yes.
Because the cruise ship is in the far distance, but the road seems to go down a slope and coming back up towards the East Street Hill. So I know that that's a huge bowl right there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at how every year you people keep demanding more and more homes. So there's land clearing, and then the calcium carbonate, the limestone, you're dredging that in order to use that for fill for your foundations. So if you're taking the earth's foundations and putting it into a building, when the hurricane comes, when that water comes, you're creating a deeper bowl.
Yes.
Then you're removing the trees, which are the coniferous trees that will absorb a lot of this water into their trunks, you see, and you don't have that either. And so there's no proper town planning, it seems to me, in the Bahamas. So when it comes to people like Wayne Neely, when it comes to disaster relief agency, when it comes to town plan, these are people that should be working together to come up with a plan. So you know what? No more construction in New Providence. If you're going to get some fill, it got to come from another island, or you got to find an alternative material to fill these foundations. Because if we keep on dredging Nassau, Nassau is going to sink. That is what is now happening. Water is everywhere, so water also brings mosquitoes. Those cane toads that you're talking about, they can now swim and go to new areas throughout the island. So you're spreading that particular problem as well. They're looking at other illnesses. You got all type of other diseases. It gets complicated, and all of this is a result of one hurricane. You can't imagine what that could possibly do in the long-term effect.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about the positive effects of hurricanes, because I think people often, brand hurricanes as a bad thing. You know what I mean? They don't see any positives in hurricanes. So I want you to touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, well, hurricanes have several benefits. Without hurricanes, none of us would be here.
The first positive for the baby
none
people?
of us survive.
First positive?
Yeah.
We ain't got to go to work. We ain't got to go to work.
Yeah.
The bad side of that is you can't get to see your sweetheart. You got to stay home. I'm only joking. Go ahead, Wendy.
Well, hurricanes act as the earth filter system. Hurricanes act the same thing that air conditioning filter on your place in your house. Hurricanes act the same thing for the earth. They cleanse the earth of atmosphere, pollutant, toxins, and gas. Without the hurricane, if you take the hurricane out of the earth will progressively, the air will get more and more polluted. So you'll have a more you have a toxic air that we won't be able to survive.
My God.
You take hurricanes out of it, 60% of the tropic rainfall in the tropics come from hurricanes. If you take that away, places like water, Aquapure, water, Chelsea Straits, and none of this, and those people who depend on water industry for manufacturing and what have you, that would be depleted. You won't have that no more.
My God.
Hurricanes also act as the Earth's heat distributor. It takes heat from the equator and transfers it to the pole. Tons of heat comes. The hurricane takes that heat from the equator. It forms in the equator and takes it towards the poles. And unfortunately, because God gave that hurricane one mandate, take heat from the equator and transfer it to the poles. If that don't occur, the equator will get progressively hotter and hotter, not support life, and the poles will get progressively colder, not support life. But hurricanes act as the Earth's balance of heat. It takes that heat from the equator, transfers it to the poles. Now, the cold front, on the other hand, takes pole to the equator. Now, the cold front never ever gets to the equator. The hurricane never gets to the poles. So you have an ongoing process, it's a cycle. And that's a cycle that God created. And if you try and take hurricanes out of this earth, that would not survive. Hurricanes also kills dead or dying or weak trees or dead animals or weak animals, and only the strong survive. So in other words, the survival of the fittest survive to continue the gene technology into other stronger plants, vibrant plants as well, and animals.
Well, those are just some of the benefits. Let's take this call, and then Mr. Bees is going to read a few texts on our text line. Go ahead, caller, you live.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing good, my friend. Didn't want you to hold too long.
I forgot to mention, right, that the pine forest does not just absorb the water, it actually blocks the hurricane force winds from blowing off your roof. And second thing, right, if you want to prevent basically hurricane force winds, right, what you do is you use a shallow overhang. Opposed to going like for a 2-foot overhang, you probably go like for 1 foot, or probably a shallow, probably 6-inch overhang to avoid give it your house on an ugly look, right? But you take off that wind force, the lift. And also, right, you will notice them ugly round houses.
Yellow elder.
Every single hurricane.
Yeah, yellow elder.
Yeah, yellow elder. Boy, remember we used to call them the Smurf house?
Yeah.
They're ugly as sin. But boy, they survive every single hurricane.
But I noticed clapboard houses last hurricanes too.
Yeah, that's true. Some of
if
them
you go to Topham Bay, all them houses still standing.
Yeah. But it's something to review and revise. But like I say, boy, they ugly as sin, but boy, they survive a hurricane.
You can't call the people in them houses ugly, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Listen, your folks, it's Garden Talk Radio 96.9 FM. We got some texts on the line. Texts, go ahead, Mr. Beats.
All right, one texter says, Fickle Road Church, you need to relax after the rush behind the rich folks. Just eat your what? Eat your mama. God, hold your head and forget the dirty politicians. You think they ain't give you food. You think they can give you dirt? So then another texter says, tell Wayne Neely, if he going home this holiday, bring his only white cousins back some crabs. Only a dozen. Another texter says, good day. I was in Jamaica for Gilbert. As a 5-year-old boy, my dad was doing his postgraduate studies in surgery. We saw the roof of the wash house fly off with the wind. These things stay with you for life.
Yeah.
Another texter says, didn't the government just sign a multi-million-dollar deal with a weather group to provide isolated early warning for these weather systems that would tell us precisely which neighborhood is going to experience heavy rainfall?
That's backswing.
Why is everyone still being surprised by severe flooding wherever it may be? There is a law outlawing price gouging. While they may identify the items, price control still has to perform an investigation. Don't forget that much of the land that used to collect water is now covered in concrete, together with decimation of trees that suck up the water and massive unregulated construction in terms of, for every 100 houses in a square mile, we need X amount of open land for runoff.
Cut down all the trees.
All right, one other texter says, also bear in mind, it's not just the speed of the hurricane, diameter of the storm. Another hurricane says, hi, God, please ask Scott why we have these black egrets, pelican-looking birds all over Nassau now. Growing up, we didn't have them. And last texter says, a guess about geoengineering and how various governments around the world, especially the U.S. government, uses geoengineering for climate change.
Yeah.
Hello, folks, man. This is Guardian Talk Radio 96.9 FM. I'm Garth Minard Roseborough, sitting with none other than Mr. Beats. You got to listen to his song when we come back. I'm winning. We got to listen to that song when we get back. I'm winning, and then we get back to Wayne Neely, Being Prepared. He's at his peak. 14 books. 14?
18
books.
18.
Going on 19, and I here struggling to finish my one book, Escaping the Cage.
Yes, I just
the
finished.
Black Crab mentality. But I got to finish it. I won't be like you.
Yeah.
I appreciate your contribution. Stay with us, Mr. Neely. We'll be back after the news.
Okay.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola are giving you the chance to experience the Essence Festival of Culture in New Orleans, July 3rd through 5th. Upgrade any premium lunch combo to a large with the Coke product for your chance to win. Win cash prizes, travel vouchers, or the grand prize, a VIP trip for two to Essence Fest. Grab a Dave Single, Asiago Ranch, Chicken Club, or 3-piece tenders combo today. Eat big, sip Coke, win big with Wendy's and Coca-Cola. Rules and restrictions apply.
Cancer touches far too many families, but hope still lives in community. Join the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group for the Hope Walk 2026 on Saturday, June 13th at 6 a.m. at Goodman's Bay. Walk alongside survivors, patients, caregivers, and families as we come together in strength, healing, and support. Enjoy community and our inspiring Hope concert immediately following the walk. Register today at gdcancersupportgroup.com. Let's take every step forward together for hope.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Record script. Scholar music. Y'all ready for this? You run your bad mouthing me, tell the people crazy things about me while I winning. You run your lying on my name, trying to bring me to shame while I winning.
To Guardian Radio. Welcome back to Guardian Radio Talk with your boy Mr. Beats. That's one of my newest songs right there. I win in. And so, yeah, the song has gone viral. It's taken off. So many people loving it and vibing to it. But we here today talking about hurricanes, man. This is the beginning of hurricane season, if I'm correct. I think it starts June 1st, ends November 31st, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got about a few more months before it ends. But we're here with the one and only Wayne Neely, myself, and God Roseborough. And, we're about to kick this the remainder of the show off and touch on a few topics. One of the things I want to ask you, though, Wayne, you said something to me that was very impressive. And I know we kind of skimmed over it, but I want you to talk a little bit about how in the world you have written 18 books.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Like, where did it start? And, where can we find your books? These books all about storms, or what are they? What are the different topics, etc.?
Well, I have 18 books. I've just written one, the book for Jamaican government.
Okay.
The Greatest and Deadliest Hurricanes of Jamaica, and also wrote a book for them as well, 1988, which actually you talk about God. And that hurricane shut down Jamaica's tourism industry for 5 years.
That's correct.
Wow.
And
That's right.
so it cost $2.92 billion.
Yeah.
And Dorian it cost $3.4 billion for the Bahamas. And imagine that was in 88, so that was a significant amount. So they took years to recover
5
from that,
years.
the economy.
Wow.
And that's the impact of these hurricanes. They impact the economy for years to follow. And we're going to pay for that $3.4 billion from Dorian. We're going to pay that for years and years that we
Still paying for it.
Still paying for it, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've forgotten that we're still paying for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my latest book, I have one on for the local one. It's the Hurricane Andrew. I've just finished Hurricane Andrew and getting ready to publish that one now.
What has been your most popular book so far?
For the Dorian was the New York Times bestseller. That was the biggest selling book. Then followed by the Hurricanes of the North Atlantic, because I read a lot of books on Bahamian history, Bahamian hurricanes. Most of my books are on Bahamian hurricanes, but
okay.
most of my books are sold throughout the world, and And most of the universities in the United States use my book as research materials for my book, especially in the meteorological classes.
Nice.
And so they use my books as research material. And my biggest seller is the Hurricanes of the North Atlantic. And the biggest selling local book is the greatest and deadliest hurricanes that impact the Bahamas, followed by the Hurricane of 1929.
I like that.
Where can Bahamians get your books if
they're
they want to?
Logos in Harbour Bay Shopping Center, but they're also available on all online bookstores, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, wherever.
And they just have to type in Wayne Neely.
Yes, so Wayne Neely, and you either buy it as an ebook, as a soft cover, as a hardback. Most persons nowadays, the younger persons are buying the ebooks now.
Okay.
Hard books is like a thing of the past now. Most not really.
Are there any future books that you're working on right now that you want to let us know?
I've the greatest and deadly hurricane of Jamaica. I just finished that from Jamaican government. That's going to be released in 2 weeks. I have one on Hurricane Andrew. That should be released shortly as well. And my last book for the Bahamian, in terms of Bahamian hurricanes, would be the Hurricanes of 1912.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great writings, man. The phone numbers, folks, to call in are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 300-5720. Text in at 422-4796. Talk about being prepared, man. If you have endured a hurricane here in the Bahamas, you want to share your experience, share your story, tell us some tips. What did you do in order to protect your loved ones and yourself? We want to hear that because we know that some of you were flooded by water. You may have had 2 feet of water, 4 feet of water. I don't know. I know at one particular hurricane, how do you pronounce that one? Was it Joaquin? How do you pronounce that one?
Joaquin. Yes.
Yeah, we mix up people's name and things, Hurricane Joaquin. But I recall I was in my bed at about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was dry outside before that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say dry, water was out there, but not water.
Right.
But there's something called a spring tide.
Yes.
My God, when I went downstairs, the water was like to my knees. And I'm like, where did all this water come from all of a sudden? It flooded the whole first floor. What's going on with that? Does that happen? How does that work?
Well, the spring tide occurs when the moon is full, and you get sometimes the hurricane lands at spring tide and high tide. So that's the worst possible scenario, spring tide and high tide, because the spring tide is the highest high tide and the lowest low tide. But with spring tide, so you have the highest high tide ever, and you also have high tide and spring tide. That exacerbates the flooding, especially in low-lying.
Well, one thing I can tell you all, but don't care what hurricane hit the Bahamas, 2 things I know will survive: the pot cakes and the latrine, the outdoor toilet.
Yeah.
Them 2 ain't going nowhere. Now, this I recall,
and Joneses too. Don't forget them
in Adelaide, right? During that same hurricane, the cemetery there, the casket came out the hole. Floated up out the hole.
Yes.
Listen.
Night of the Living Dead.
The thing flowed down the road. True story.
Stop lying.
Man, listen, man. Ask the people out there.
God can lie.
The casket flowed down. Listen, man.
Just
down
when
the
every
road.
hurricane, the coffin floats up.
Listen, what I'm trying to tell you about this freaky as hell.
The water gets very weak, and so the coffin automatically.
You know, the
floats.
cemetery on the beach.
Okay.
And so what happened now? There's a bridge between Adelaide proper and then the beach side of Adelaide, a little small little bridge. This casket went across the bridge. It ain't gone in the creek. Man, listen, I tell you all the truth. God knows.
God, when you get stopped, man.
Listen, I tell you, it gone across the creek. And guess where the casket gone?
In the church?
Going back to where it come from. Where the person used to live. God, I tell you the truth.
Now, see, God,
if you don't believe me, go to Adelaide, right there, Avery's on the right-hand side there. There's a lady who's 88 years old, and then there's another lady right there in the yard.
So who was in the coffin, a male or female?
The family member.
Was it?
And the casket come to the door, their door, and the casket bumping up against the door like that.
God?
And then they had to go put the casket. I telling you the truth. So sometimes, the hurricane could bring you some relatives who've gone beyond to say hello.
Bring them back.
I just saying. You say some howling and some.
So you got living in my house now.
So listen,
the coffin floated in Wilma as well, in Grand Bahama with Wilma coffin.
It floated up, eh?
In 8 Mile Rock Cemetery, and floated out the coffin, and they had to rebury the bodies again.
That's what happens, man.
And that happened on several hurricanes.
Well, I want to know from you all too, including you, Wayne Neely and Mr. Beats, if a Hurricane 5 came this way, Category 5 came this way, I will know where you personally would like to find refuge. What would be the top of Jesus Lord? What would be the top ceiling in terms of land topography? Where would you want to go in terms of the topography? Or which shelter would be of preference to you? Caller, you're live. This is Guardian Talk Radio 96.9 FM. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, God. Good day to you and your guest.
Hey, man.
Good day.
I know where I'd like to be. Hawkinsville. That's basically the highest point around here.
Yeah. But the strongest winds are going to be there.
You heard what Wayne just said?
That's where the strongest winds are going to be.
The higher you go, the stronger the winds are in a hurricane.
Oh, so you get down, but you can get drunk if you go down low.
Too low, so you have to find a medium balance.
Okay.
Somewhere in between.
So I would want to go in the Bridge Suite in Atlantis.
My experience with a hurricane was Hurricane David. We were living up on Moore Avenue then.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I can tell you a lie on Nassau radio. That's the most avocado pear I ever eat in my life. And a good thing the hurricane didn't stay long, because my mommy baked about 8 loaves of bread. And that next day, all of us was looking for the butter of the bread to eat. Because then the hurricane just run over. Because we done eat all the food before the hurricane finished.
You're all greedy.
Man, we just eating.
Right.
Man, we had more pears. The avocado pears was like, I say, wow.
Well, tell me something before you go. If you had a choice to stock up on food before a hurricane hit, like right now, you wouldn't wait to hear when Neely say, oh, a hurricane is on its way. Just to say every house, what food provision would you put in the house right now?
I'll get things like the beanie and the can. I'll get things like tuna, sardine. I'll get things like, you need a lot of bread. I ain't worried about no meat and no thing, because when the current go up, that's it with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I a lot of canned things I'd stock up on.
All right.
A lot of canned, a lot of like sodas, baby juice, you know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling, my friend Julian, man. That's Bamboo Town right there. Let me take another call. I'll call you live.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not sorry to call back, but in the 1929 hurricane, my mother was born September the 23rd, 1920. They lived in a two-story wooden home on the corner of Camp Road and Shirley Street. My mother told her that when the 1929 hurricane down, their father, the bunch of them was in with her mother. He tied a 1-inch rope around one wrap around each child about 4 feet apart and bind them all together in case anything should happen, they wouldn't go missing or all will go together. And she told me that when it started, he went to the front door to close the front door. And as he turned his back to walk back towards them to tie him in, the door flew open and knocked him straight across the doggone wall into the next wall, and he was knocked out for about a few hours, and nobody knew what to do. And she told me she remembered that story. God bless the dead. She died in 1966, the same year the money changed. Have a good day.
Thank you, Sparky. Right. Let me take another call. I'll call you live.
Hey, God. Hey, boy, if any place I want to go in a hurricane, American Embassy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You talk on 68 degrees, God. 2, the internet ain't buffering.
No.
What?
3, boy, they got some good food up there. God, you can imagine your boy walk around the boxes in the American Embassy doing hurricane?
Man, we'll have to call you Mr. President. But that is a good building to go to. I think that would be a very safe place. Are there any other embassies that you could think about that would be just as strong or a good place to go?
Chinese.
You won't go to the Chinese embassy?
Yeah, Chinese should be.
You won't go there.
I thought American embassy more still. They probably get bulletproof glass and
they get everything. Yeah. China may have the same thing.
Yeah.
But then by the time you leave the Chinese embassy, America can be watching you. So, Neely, man, why isn't Andros hit since 1929? That's so weird to me. Everyone at one point we thought it was going to hit South Andros, and it went straight across Cuba and went into Mexico. What's about South Andros that stops the storms from coming?
They do get hit. Actually, Andros is, in terms of the Bahamas, Andros, Abaco, Grand Bahama, and Lutra are the most impacted areas most impacted areas.
Andros?
Yeah. because it's a big land. It's a
We
land.
don't hear nothing in Andros.
Yeah, we were impacted by, what was that? It was 2016 Matthew.
Oh yeah, Matthew. I remember Matthew.
What Matthew did to y'all?
Matthew messed up Nassau.
Matthew messed up Nassau, yes.
What did Matthew
In fact,
did to y'all?
People had to, they had to rescue 500 to 600 persons in Matthew, in South Beach, because they were during the storm. They would want to move out that area. They did not move. Most of them stayed in their homes.
These people stubborn, eh?
And during the peak of the storm, they started calling ZNS and they started calling the police station to tell them, look, the water's at our, where is at our bell course or top window level. The police, Elson Greensley and Leon Battle, they made a decision. They decided to send backhoes and dump trucks into the storm during the peak of the storm.
My God.
To rescue those persons. So they rescued 500 to 600 persons in dump trucks and backhoes. And got them into a safe location.
But nobody say thank you enough to say, man, listen, we do a good job in the times like
that's part you don't hear about it. And because if that did not occur, I think we would have definitely had deaths in Matthew.
Yeah, a lot of deaths, yeah.
My God.
So 500 to 600 persons. When it comes to Dorian, on the other hand, they were getting calls too in Dorian as well, but the police say no, you're on your own, and they were on their own until.
You know what I noticed about Matthew too that I remember that was interesting to me? A lot of them trees with them big wide trunks,
yes,
like cotton trees or whatever type of trees they was, like a lot of them fell and they hit a lot of lines because we were without power for a very long time.
Yes.
But I remember it's like, why did all these trees, these big trees, decide to fall at the same time?
In Matthew, I was out of electricity for a month.
Yeah, I was out for a long time. I remember that.
Yeah, big tree went across the transformers in my area.
Because I was living Johnson Road at the time, and I remember when you come off of East Bay and you come up that little hill, one big tree was there and had the whole of Johnson Road block off.
Yeah. My God. Let me take this other caller. Caller, you live.
Hey God, how you doing? I went through Hurricane Matthew too. That was Matthew was kind of a blessing for me.
Oh yeah.
But we were living on out in Hana Road area, and we got like 3 feet of water inside the home.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of apartments and stuff in the back there. People's roof got blown off, but that was because of bad construction. I didn't even lose much shingle off of my roof. But we suffer a lot of flooding. I think Hope's Ground was empty in that area. Everywhere was flooded. Seabreeze, all up in our area, a little bit of Yamacraw, the Linden Pinland Estate, all of them suffered damage. Little Nassau Village, the back part, all of them suffered damage. And the election, they still vote out.
My God.
She was really working hard in that area to try and help people. But I got refugees from insurance. I had my place insured.
Well, you know, right now, people, we're talking about innovation and starting small businesses. Thank you so much, my friend. As we go into the hurricane season, there's nothing wrong with starting to stockpile on things like shingles, on roofing plywood, etc. Yeah. These things can always sell. These are non-perishable items that can always be sold. And so it's now time to think outside the box.
Yeah. And now it's time to get your roof fixed. If you have leaky roof or windows or door that needs to repair because during a hurricane, that would be a weak point for the hurricane to devastate your home. So
that's correct.
And if you need hurricane insurance, now is the time to stock up on hurricane insurance and stock up on food supplies. And then while it's quiet, you don't have to go to food store and buy a whole ton. If you buy in, let's say you buy 4 cans of tuna normally a month.
Yeah.
Get 6 cans and
start stockpiling.
Every month, start stockpiling. So rather than wait until the last minute, I just know that storm's coming and rush to the food store and everybody goes crazy and shopping like crazy, and that's it.
I have a question about the path of hurricanes.
Well, let me take this caller real quick first. Caller, go ahead live. Sorry about that, Mr. Beats. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, you're on live.
Okay, love.
You go ahead.
Hi, good day.
Good day, my dear.
I just wanted to say what I remember about Matthew trees, because I have a lot of fruit trees in my yard, and I remember having to get someone to try and assist with replanting and all of that. But I also heard the gentleman say that if the higher up you go, then you have to be the more concerned you have to be about the wind.
Yes.
So what I would like, I know he said try to find somewhere like medium ground level, but could you give us any examples on the island of New Providence where those areas would be? Because I live in the western area, but I live on a hill.
Yes.
It's the most elevated point in my neighborhood. And I know during the storms that the wind is always a concern for me, because coming over Goodman's Bay, it literally sounds as if the wind is talking.
Yes.
So could you give us, examples of
in
where?
Central, and there's a natural ridge that extends all across the island. Let's say they cut down the hills that's near Gardner's and on Blue Hill Road.
Tragedy.
Yeah, they cut down
Huge
all
tragedy.
They used that fill for for building houses and development, and so you cutting down the natural natural barrier for hurricanes
And a reservoir.
Yes, that's
For
correct.
water. Yeah. I hate that. Someone mentioned to me, Ms. Francis Johnson said that probably the safest place in Nassau is probably Stapleton Gardens area.
Yeah.
That's something for us to look at. You talking in the past, Mr. Beach, before we take the next caller?
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to know, somebody had told me one time that hurricanes, they have to travel, they always come from Africa this way. Is that true?
No.
Okay. Somebody told me that.
There's four types of hurricanes impacting the North Atlantic, and the ones that come from Africa, what we call the Cape Verde type hurricanes, and that's about it's come off the African coast as tropical or easterly waves and into the Atlantic and then into the Caribbean and over the Bahamas. You also have some forming in the Southern Caribbean Sea, what we call the Southern Caribbean Sea type hurricane. That tend to move either westward or northward from its inception. Then you also have the Bahama Busters, which is named after the Bahamas because it forms just east of the Bahamas and moves across the Bahamas either as a tropical depression or a tropical storm or Category 1 hurricane and move westward and into either in the Gulf of Mexico or into
Where did Dorian come from?
Dorian came from, Dorian was a Cape Verde type hurricane, which came from the African coast.
Wow, that had all the ancestors, everybody.
Yeah, and
I know that's what you was doing. I watching you with one eye. Let me take this other call here. Go ahead, caller, you're live.
Hello, good day, folks. How y'all doing?
Oh, you sound strong and beautiful.
Right?
Okay. Y'all okay?
You brushed that off quick.
Why you brushed me off like that, man? Go ahead.
Anyway, I just joined the show just now, actually. Just
Thank
came home. The gentleman's name is Neil or Neely. Which one?
Neely.
Neely.
Wayne Neely.
Oh, yeah. And he's a professional, I'm telling you.
He
got
is.
a couple of books. I got one in this house.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I want to ask him about this, right? Now, you were saying, or it's being reported, that it's below expectations for this.
Yes.
All right, June is already here.
Yes.
But we will not have that a lot of
Hurricanes.
strong storms, right?
Yes, because El Nino right now this year.
Pardon, I can't even hear you. Pardon?
Because of El Nino this year, we have what we call a super El Nino, or what they call super El Nino. In other words, a very intense El Nino, which means that it's going to. Now, with that, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, they're going for 8 to 14 named storms, 6 to 12, 3 to 6 hurricanes, and 1 to 3 intense hurricanes, which is Category 3 or higher. And not the Colorado State University is going for 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. And so that's significantly below average. The average is 14.4 named storms, 7.2 hurricanes, and 3.2 major hurricanes. So you're saying you're going to see a less amount of hurricanes. That doesn't mean that you should let your guard down, because we could still have a Category 5 during a very low intense season. If you remember Hurricane Andrew in 1992 was during a low season. We only had 7 storms. The first storm was Hurricane Andrew, which occurred on the during the elections of 1992, and that was the first storm, Hurricane Andrew, and it was the one and only major storm to impact. But it was one of the most devastating hurricanes to impact the Bahamas, and it devastated North Lucia and Cat Key and those other islands in the North Bahamas.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I know they're saying don't let your guard down.
No.
But You think it has to do with this climate change to do? Why we're not?
No, El Nino is a natural.
My God,
El Nino is it's a naturally occurring event.
There's not going to be. You say only three serious.
That's what they forecasting. That's just a forecast. Forecast could be wrong. You can have more than that, or you can have less than that. But that's the average they tend to go. The scientific theory of what the amount that they're expecting this year. And atmosphere gives a range. But
maybe it's climate change thing.
No, it's not climate change. El Nino and La Nina, they naturally occurring weather events that occurs between every 2 to 3 to 7 years in intervals.
Oh.
And they naturally occurring. It has nothing to do with climate change.
Thank you.
Okay, we appreciate your call.
What's your name again?
Wayne Neely.
Oh, Wayne Neely.
Yeah.
From the new trade.
Part of my family, part from Lucha and part from Andres. My parents.
I can't hear you.
Part of my family is from Lucha and part is from Andres, but my parents are from Andres.
Oh, Andres. Anyway, Mr. Wayne Neely, thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
I worry about you.
I know, I didn't know that. You didn't fussing me, but everything cool. That's my friend there. Listen, man, the phone numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the Family of Violence, 300-5720, 422-4796. Mr. Bede says, I am winning. I'm winning. We're going to take a quick break. Wayne Neely is in the house, my very good friend from South Andros. He is on his way to make sure the crabs are crawling. You got to play that song for Wayne Neely when we get back. Crab crawling. That's how the song go. Listen, man, we'll be right back after this break.
Tell the people crazy things about me while I'm winning. You ran your lying on my name, trying to bring me to shame while I'm winning. I hear you watching my ways, spying on my page. And every move I make, man, you hoping I fail. But I winning. Oh yes, I winning.
Beulah gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see called in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
Budgeting and saving? Yes. Investing? Check. But what if you could do more? With an RF brokerage account, you can get priority access to local investment opportunities right as they come to the market. Never miss a bond or new share offering again. Plus, you can house all your investments in one place and benefit from expert investment advice. Contact us at brokerage@rfgroup.com to start doing more today. Some conditions apply. RF, money at work.
Turn a trip to Burger King Nassau into a galactic adventure with the Mondo and Grogu Whopper Combo, featuring special shake fries. Whether you're a bounty hunter in training or just here for your way, Burger King Nassau has everything Mandalorian and Grogu related you could want. Grab the toys, the mugs, the crowns, and your crew, and head on down to BK and celebrate the Mandalorian and Grogu adventure with Burger King Nassau. This is the way.
Cancer touches far too many families, but hope still lives in community. Join the Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group for the Hope Walk 2026, Saturday, June 13th at 6 a.m. at Goodman's Bay. Walk alongside survivors, patients, caregivers, and families as we come together in strength, healing, and support. Enjoy community fellowship, vendors, activities, and a Hope concert immediately following the walk. Register today at gdcancersupportgroup.com. Let's take every step forward together for hope.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
down in South Andros in one church on the hill. Church packed with brethren, dressed down to kill. Rev just started his sermon, but before he get in the groove, Sister Brown look out the window.
Welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9. We are here with the one and only Mr. Wayne, Neely, myself, Mr. Beats, God, Roseboro, and we are talking all things hurricanes and storms because we have entered the hurricane season. June 1st is when it started, and one of the questions I have for Mr. Neely today is how do they name storms? Because you always see these names: Andrew, you got Irma, you got Joaquin, you got Dorian, all these different names, and I wonder what's the process that goes into that. And I always wonder how come they don't have any black names like Hurricane LaQuisha and and stuff like that, Shaquania and names like that. Why these names? They always sound Spanish or British or Dutch or whatever, but yeah, let us know what's up with that.
Yeah, well, naming it's went through a list of changes, but it's selected by member country of the World Meteorological Organization in North Atlantic region, and names are selected from French. They select French, Dutch, English, Spanish names.
Okay.
Because all those countries make up the Caribbean and the North Atlantic. You have Central America, you have the Caribbean, you have names as well, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and all those places like that. And at the end of every year, if there's a hurricane that devastates, the names are alternated between male and female every male and female alternately.
Okay.
And once a name is selected, that name is recycled unless it does significant damage. If it does any damage or deaths, the member country of the impacted country impacted by this hurricane can request that retire the name for reasons of sensitivity and for insurance purposes and what have you.
Okay.
And if the name is selected, then another name the following spring, and different name is chosen, and that name is retired.
Okay.
So you'll never hear Hurricane Andrew again, or you never hear Dorian
again. Okay.
It would be replaced by another name.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, that's some good info right there. I had another question for you too that I wanted to ask about you talked about the water table. No, we already talked about that. I think I asked all the questions so far I wanted to get on there. Yeah, I wanted to get on that.
So here's what we're looking at, folks. We've entered into the season, and preparation is going to be necessary. The one thing that I am a stickler for is preparation.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I've recognized that in our country, we so easily blame the government for things going wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, we already know that if a disaster hits, the government is not going to be able to cover everybody.
No.
So let's start with that. They cannot possibly take care of how many people you figure right now in your Providence, Wayne? Population-wise, well over 200,000?
Yes.
Going into the 300,000, somewhere around there?
Yes.
Okay, good. You know that if disaster hits, I just being straight up honest. God knows if hurricane coming, they ain't checking for you.
No.
Everybody looking out for themselves. Everybody got to try find security. That's the bottom line, right?
Yes.
Most of the politicians, being real, got generator. They got Generac.
Yes.
Or some other fancy generator. Caterpillar. Someone got them big ton Caterpillar who can power 5 and 6 houses. Okay? Let's just be real.
Yes.
They will have power in their house. They got hurricane impact windows.
Yes.
They ain't need no shutters.
Yes.
Okay? Their roof they don't have no shingle like you. Shingle was Shane Gibson, they say. They got them ceramic tile on the roof, like what you got Treasure Cove. Them 100-year tile on the roof.
Yes.
Okay? They got wall in their yard, 8 foot high, wind blowing, got to go over their roof. They straight. This is what I'm trying to say to you.
Some live on a hill too.
So stop focusing. Let's not focus on the politicians. Focus on Rev. Rev straight. Rev got the same thing. Mm-hmm. Rev straight.
Yeah.
Okay? The only people who ain't straight is you, the hard-working Bahamian people.
Yes.
And you're looking for a little relief now and then, so you have little habits. Some of y'all will smoke a little bit of weed. Some of y'all will smoke a little bit of rum. Drink a little bit of rum. Some of y'all got some other bad habits. Now is the time to try to limit your bad habits and invest in preparation.
Preparation.
If you used to drink tree bears, because bears come in trees, some of us, we greedy, we get 6, we get 9. Cut back. Try to get 1 bear and drink plenty water. I just being real. Take some of that money, set aside, like Wayne said, buy some tuna, buy some sardine, buy some bags. Right? Put your storehouse in order. That's all I'm simply saying to you.
And even too, you like said, people don't think about hurricane insurance. And that's
I wanted to get to that too.
Yes.
Yeah, you need hurricane insurance.
Yeah.
To protect your assets.
The government is not going to. People think that once the destruction is there, the government is going to depend. You're going to depend. In most cases, first of all, government will have damages as well. Things like hospitals and schools or clinics will be damaged just as well as your home, and they're going to fix those places first before they fix your home. And in most cases, sometimes they even fix the elderly home or the elderly person home and not yours.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah. So if you get hurricane insurance, that covers that. It doesn't. Hurricane insurance is expensive, but it takes the problem of you and put it on the insurance company. So in other words, if you have at least you have some way of getting your lives back to some degree of normalcy after the hurricane strike. And like I say, prepare for your house. You need your roof is leaking now, fix it now. You need those supplies, get your hurricane supplies now. Your medicine, what have you, make sure you get enough supply of that during the hurricane and shortly before the hurricane.
Yes. And like people like myself, when COVID-19 hit, we was locked down for 6 months, if you remember. Now, when it comes to a major hurricane, if a Category 5 is to hit New Providence, I think we can be out for about at least 2, 3, 4, 5 months.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Some people can lose their jobs because some companies got to close down. Some people got to cut back. So in terms of even our spending, things like your mortgage, you got to try put aside an extra payment or two. Just in case. I just say it.
Yeah.
Because the bank is your friend when it's time to get the money, but God help you when you owe them. Jesus Christ. They won't kill you. I just being honest. I mean, and rightly so.
Yeah.
That's their money. They got to look out for their own interest too. So I think the whole idea of hurricanes is that there are a number of people, Mr. Beats, who makes a lot of money during hurricanes. Hardware stores makes money.
Yeah.
The marinas make money. The insurance companies make money. The banks make money because people got to go borrow money to do repairs sometimes. The food stores everybody's making money. But you need to put yourself in a position too where you can make some money.
Yeah.
That's also a part of the preparation. So I always say to people, if you can afford it, in ration, because the worst that could happen with hurricane supplies is you sell it after the hurricane. That's all I'm simply saying.
Yeah.
Hurricane season ends when again?
30th of November.
Of November. And no hurricane has ever gone past that?
Yeah, they have December and January.
Who was in December, if you can remember?
December was Alpha of 2000, Alpha of 2005, Alpha, Beta, and there was Hurricane Alex as well.
So how they just determine hurricane season being when it more than likely would happen?
Would occur, yeah.
But it doesn't mean it cannot happen otherwise.
No, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. The hurricane has been there's a hurricane every month with the exception of, I think it was February.
You serious?
So February's the only month that there's not a recorded hurracane.
Recorded hurricane, yes.
Wow. That's the shortest one too.
Yeah.
So God knows what he was doing.
But that's scary.
Yeah.
Well,
most of the hurricane season from June to November. And in fact, several years ago, they thought about extending, instead of 1st of June, they want to extend it from 15th of May until the end of November. But because they were having that for the last 15 years, you had, I think, 6 or 7 years that you had hurricanes forming in May. So the U.S. government wanted to extend it until the 15th of May, but they didn't get much. They got some flack for that from other countries in the Caribbean as well.
So what are the safest islands in the Bahamas, you would say?
New Providence.
It's still the safest?
Yeah, the most active area for hurricanes impacting the region would be Abaco, Charlotte, North Carolina is number one. Grand Bahamas,
Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Is the number one spot?
Yeah, and
wow.
Florida is number two.
Hold on. You touched me just now. You say Charlotte?
Yes.
You know my people right from Winston-Salem, right next door.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What the hell? You telling me Charlotte is number one?
Business-wise, too.
Then you have Grand Bahamas number 3, Abaco is number 4, Andros is number 6, Eleuthera is number 11.
Eleuthera is number 11?
Yeah.
I thought Andros was safe.
You're talking about in the region, or you're just talking about in the Bahamas?
In the region.
In the region.
But I thought Andros was safer than Eleuthera because Eleuthera always getting hit.
No. Andros and Eleuthera, they all impacted a lot as well. Andros number 6 and Eleuthera number 11. New Providence is number 54. So what was really hit? Yeah.
Is that part of the reason why this island was chosen to be the capital island? Because of the hurricane probability?
It's sheltered. It's a sheltered port.
Yeah. Is that the part of the reason?
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Yeah. So who decided that? The British?
Yeah, the British, yeah.
Okay.
Boy, we're learning a lot today.
And see, that's why a lot of people who live on other islands, they don't like Nassau, but they don't. And they, remember there was a time when, especially Grand Bahamians used to be saying Nassau shouldn't be the capital; it should be Grand Bahama. Imagine if the government had chosen Grand Bahama or even Abaco as like the main island to be the capital.
Isn't that amazing?
We would have had
these are
we'd
things
get wiped out long time.
Lutra was
once the capital.
Yeah, they would consider they want to consider Lutra as a capital.
Yeah,
Lutra too.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lord Proprietors. Yeah.
Wow,
man, I think we're fortunate, man. Well, yeah, folks, we got the last 15 minutes on the show. The numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 300-5720, or text in the 422-4796. We'll be back. Check the text lines. Call in. This is Guardian Radio Today, 96.9 FM. We'll be back after this final break.
First one out the door, Brother Smith jumped through the window. He was 84, Brother Fourth grab one barrel. He keep on, he pick up truck. What a joyful spirit, all the crowd they picking up. Hear him singing, count your blessings, count them one by one, 1 dozen. Count your blessings, count them 2 by 2, 2 dozen. Count your blessings under the sun. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. This crowd can't done. Church shout, crowd crawling. Church shout. You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Walking down the aisle on my special day. Yeah, that's right. Remember when you say no one gonna marry me? I got my house plus my apartment, they on rent. Yes.
And we are 96.9 FM. Listen, man, it's been a great show, very informative. I thank you for tuning in today. It is not a normal thing for us, but Wayne Neely is my very good friend, and I'm always excited to listen to him as we talk about weather. And it's not that we don't have other things that we could have talked about. The newspaper is full. Make sure to get your copy of the Nassau Guardian. There's a whole lot to talk about there. And, we're seeing the gas prices could even possibly increase. It always seems there's something that's happening in our country that's going to affect your pocket. But the one thing I wanted to make sure to protect today is lives. And if anything were to come this way in terms of devastation, because even though you might be safe, as Wayne Neely said, we're number 54, thereabout, in rank. You may actually be traveling to one of the family islands that may be in higher rank, like Abaco, Grand Bahama, Andros, or Eleuthera, and you would need this information to protect yourself. The one thing that I am cautious about too, Wayne Neely, is the use of generators. People want to use generators during hurricanes, and they don't even understand that it's more dangerous to have the generator in your house than the hurricane itself. And so we're going to have you come back again to talk about more of hurricane preparedness, things that we can do, things that we can put in place, what signs to look out for. And once again, we could look at the topography. If you may just touch us once again to tell us where you would prefer to be here in Nassau. Tell us where we can find your books, where we can read up information about these hurricanes. I think the main people deserve to know.
Yeah. Well, the safest place to be in a not too high area, but a medium-sized area. Like, let's say Garden Hills number 2, Stapleton, Fox Hill, in certain parts of Foxhill, I should say. Where land is much higher and not prone to...
Even in Category 1, as Scott said...
And away from the coastal areas.
Yeah, what could be extremely dangerous.
Yes.
And you live in Pinewood. I'm picking on Pinewood because everybody knows Pinewood to be that type of a place.
Yes.
I think Adelaide is also low-lying, and some of the other coastal places like Delaport, etc. But they're on the northern side of the island as opposed to the southern.
Yeah.
And so when you look at South Beach Marshall Road area, that's a bowl in and of itself, too.
Yes.
In situations like that, evacuation.
Yes.
The people need to know that would probably be the worst place to probably remain.
Yes.
And now would be a good time to mend relationships with family, friends, a particular church that may be a shelter, so that you have an escape plan. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and if you're in an low-lying area that's prone to flooding, that should be a no-no, because that if you get, let's say, 2 feet of water, or 6 inches of water during a typical afternoon thunderstorm, you turn times that by a factor of about 4, and that varies as well. But by a factor of 4, you tend to get a fairly idea of what you're going to get during a hurricane, a typical hurricane fall.
Now, guess
so
what
if you're in
else?
a flood-prone area, move with that area, because during the flooding, during a hurricane will be exacerbated by the storm surge.
You know, when I was in school, I graduated with my second master's degree from DeVry University, Keller Graduate School of Management. And it was my birthday. My birthday was coming. It was July. And it was 2003. And I said, you know what? I want to treat myself. And so I'm going to get a car.
Yes.
And when I got to the parking lot, looked around. And the guy probably could see, there's a sucker. You know, you can see he come to buy a car. You know, as we go. So I said, man, I want me a nice Honda Accord.
Yeah.
So I saw a white Honda Accord, man. I said, boy, look at that. Eh? Had the roof and everything.
Yes.
And I see myself in this car. I didn't sell myself. I want to carry this car home. The first man, you want a tracking device on that? I said, yeah, man, give me all the bells and whistles. You know, I want to show off. And do you know how often I drove through Atlanta biting my teeth? People thought I was probably smiling, showing off. But I was showing my teeth because I had no gas in the car, you know? And eventually I made a loan to a friend, and she failed to pay me in time. And the same tracking device I had in the car was the tracker they used to repossess the car, you know? But I'm saying all of to say that right now, you Bahamian people, you're getting caught up in these electric vehicles. And I see you, Ron, you're smiling, you know, oh, you're looking good in there. You know, you got this new electric car. I don't think, Mr. Beads, that fares well in floods, does it?
Electric cars?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't honestly say how that works.
Well, someone need to let us know how the electric car thing works, because if you have an electric car and hurricane weather comes, whether it's a category 1 or 5, I think you're going to need a driveway that's going to be elevated so that you won't have any flood damage. That even happens even for normal cars.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about preparation, things that people need to think about, because you cannot afford to go back to the bank for another loan to get another car. So you people in the little cubes and the little notes and those other little cars, you got to be wary, because during a hurricane, those things won't fare well. Flooded streets, my friend, after the hurricane, we tend to want to go outside the house and look around.
Yes.
Boy, we crazy bad, eh?
Not safe.
How dangerous is that?
That's very dangerous, because you have down electrical wires. You have trees across streets that could either cause death or serious injury.
Through those water that you can't see.
Can't see.
Cause infections. My God.
And a live line will be out there, and you driving through it not knowing that this is a live line. And you know, so
listen, folks, when hurricanes are dangerous, they can be advantageous, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of disadvantages. You have to be careful. You have to be prepared. Wayne, Neely, give us those books again. Let us know where we can find them. How people can call you in to speak with you. They want you to present at their schools, their churches. I don't know where we got away with that from. I mean, this is how the Bahamas was built. We used to invite people to come in and speak and teach us and educate us. It doesn't happen that much anymore.
Yeah, for hurricane preparation, you want me to come in, I do that as well. You can call me at 445-3069. That's 445-3069. And my books are available at Logos Bookstore and the Harbour Shopping Center. My latest book, The Great Bahamian Hurricanes of 1933. That's the year we had 5 hurricanes in 1 year. You also have the 1929 hurricane, which is another book. You have the Great Bahamian Hurricane of 1866, where you had 387 Bahamians died in that one.
Wow.
You have the great Bahamian hurricanes of 1926, where you had, in one storm, you had 256 persons dying in that storm.
What? Which year that was?
1926. And
wow.
And the great Okeechobee hurricane, which you had about 1,400 Bahamians die in that storm. The Okeechobee hurricane of 1928. You also had the great Abaco hurricane of 1932 and the great Bahamian hurricane of 1899. All of those are books that I wrote about and the impact that they had on the Bahamas. So if you're interested in books, they're available at Logos, or you can buy them online at Amazon, Amazon.com, or any of the bookstore, online bookstores. But locally, in the Harbor Bay Shopping Center, Logos in the Harbor Bay Shopping Center, they're available.
Thank you so much. Caller, you're live. We take the last caller. Go ahead, caller. Caller, you there? Caller, you live?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my friend.
It's a great opportunity of mine to call into the show to commend my former colleague, Mr. Neely, on the great work he's doing. It was a joy, and an honor to work with him and the great work that he's doing. So I just want to commend him and encourage him in this endeavor.
Thank you, Mike.
Great show.
Yes, Michael Stubbs, the former deputy director of the Department of Meteorology. He wrote the foreword for my last book. One of the great my co-workers, excellent guy. He was former director. He's loved by everybody. And some of the directors are not loved. He's one of them are loved by everybody.
Well, hey, that's good to know. You know, the civil service, there are people in the civil service that actually work. You know, I came to the studio today. I was perturbed. Don't mind me sitting here when I read about an incident with someone who was on dialysis, and there was some confusion with the law in the Marathon area. And I'm going to dedicate one of these shows to people who are on dialysis. You know, my loved one is also on dialysis, been on dialysis from 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of money on medical care.
Yes.
And it goes from $2 million in insurance down, and it dwindles down until they tell you you don't have enough funds left in your insurance to have surgery any longer. People just don't understand that there are a number of Bahamian people here who are challenged, you know. Things like hurricanes, they affect these same people. Got to go through the hurricane too.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
It exacerbates, you know. It doesn't get any easier. And so for those people, I just want to give a special shout out before we leave today to those people who are on dialysis. I want you to continue to eat properly, take care of yourself, keep your faith in God. I know it's not easy, but I do believe that, you know, God is going to bring you through. That is my prayer for you today. Those people who are going through cancer and other ailments today, I want to give a shout out to you. I want to encourage you to keep your head up high. Those people who are going through challenges in terms of considering suicide, I saw that happen as well. All these things are bothering me, by the way, as I sit here.
Yes.
But I want them to also know that as even I sit here, it becomes unsurmountable sometimes, but you got to hang on in there because hope and help is always on the way. There's always a solution to a problem. You just need to just step back sometimes, allow the wave to cover you, and let God bring you through. I mean, that's just what I believe. That's just my belief. I've been in a place one time in Atlanta, being Neely, where I saw myself descending into a dark hole. It was just an abyss. I don't know how that depression came upon me. I don't know where it came from. It's not normal for me. And I think it may have even been a spiritual attack. But a voice said to me, God, sometimes you just got to hold on to the walls.
Yes.
And then start to climb your way back out.
Yeah.
And so today, my encouragement to you all here at Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, that no matter what you're going through, I believe today that the winds are going to blow, the lightning is going to flash, the thunder is going to roll, but at the end of the day here in the Bahamas, it's always better because the sun will always come out to bless the Bahamas.
That's right.
Have a great day, folks. Wendy, tell the folks goodbye. Mr. Bees, tell them goodbye.
All right, good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Bahamas.
Have a safe and enjoyable holiday.
Yeah, but when are you going to be back on, Beats?
Sunday. I'll be back on Sunday. Y'all check me out on Remarks, and this Sunday coming from 5 to 6:30 p.m.
Well, listen, man, y'all enjoy your Labor Day. Some of you are marching from one school to your headquarters. Some are marching to their headquarters. Everybody marching their own way. But at the end of the day, we say march on, Bahama land. Until next time, Garth Bernard Roseboro, have an enjoyable and safe vacation. You fellas on the motorbike, stop that one-wheel nonsense, man. You're causing problems. Stop it. You people in them rental cars, zigzagging all over the place, we want you to survive. We don't want no car incidents this holiday. If you know you can't drink, then don't drive. Stay home, man. Go play hopscotch. Garth Millard Roseborough saying so long until next time.